Spoiler alert, this is not my first rodeo. Back on March 9th of this year at the Fisher Theater in Danville, I did my very first That's What Teens Are weekend. And here I am again, taking the opportunity to speak again. Let me tell you, I have harped on these girls all weekend that those first-time nerves are a one-time thing. At least, they aren't that intense after. After I just did it, I realized how much the nerves were limiting me, and they weren't even a forever thing. After I finished speaking, I was getting ready to go get lunch with my family, but first, I had to go get my bag. This older gentleman stopped me and complimented my speech, that it was absolutely wonderful. I didn't understand how much that man and other people benefited from my speech until he spoke to me. I quickly threw out my thank you for the compliment and thanked him for coming to the show, but I think he knew I didn't sincerely understand him. He said, No, you don't understand. Your speech was wonderful. I've dealt with similar struggles as you, miss, and I just made it to 40. You're truly so inspiring. Keep it up and keep making a difference. The reason I find this so important is because our voices matter. And I'd be so happy if even just one of you left here feeling a little bit better about your story, about where you started and where you are now. You are so much more powerful than you think. So, before I get into this, I just want to tell all these girls and all of you to step out of your comfort zone because you have so much to offer the world. So be bold and go shamelessly show it off. For those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself. I've struggled with depression, anxiety, and self-harm. Last time I opened about where I started and where I am now. I'm still on that journey, and I continue to put in work every day. Today, I'm going to be continuing my story and hopefully reach those who could use a little bit of hope. My story really isn't easy to tell, but I share it anyway because I know someone out there might need to hear it. So let's talk about music. Have you ever noticed how you have to get in the mood for certain songs? One minute you're screaming breakup lyrics even though you were in a healthy, happy relationship, and the next, Temperature by Sean Paul comes on, and we're dancing now. So today, I want to explore and start the conversation about the effects that music can have on our mental health, both positive and negative. For me, I tended to lean towards the negative side. When I felt the weight of the world pressing down on me, I would slip away to my room and sit in this super cozy egg chair by my window. From this little spot, I had a clear view of the highway. Not exaggerating, I'd sit there for hours, watching cars go by, each one a fleeting blur. Now this was when I would put on my go-to depression playlist, I like to call it. The types of songs I was listening to seemed to complement that heaviness in my chest. It was like I was wrapped in a heavy blanket, comforting, but also suffocating. It was like all these feelings that I didn't have the words for sounded like these songs. They understood me. That is the power of music. As the music really got its claws on me, I felt myself sinking deeper into my thoughts. The music was almost creating a parasitic loop where the more I listened, the more my depression worsened. I couldn't help but dwell on the negative. The once comfy, comforting egg chair became my little cocoon. The window is also why I now have a habit of staring off all the time, because that's what I did with the window. It made me feel so distant and unreachable, which at the time was exactly what I wanted. All right, how about some positives in music now? I don't know about y'all, but I love me some Katy Perry or Beyonce while I'm driving, especially on the highway. Doing the speed limit. Quick shout out, don't break any laws while driving. My uncle's a cop, and he's sitting in the audience, so don't say I didn't warn you. But, have you ever heard of the chemical dopamine? Dopamine is the feel-good neurotransmitter, yada yada yada. I'm a science nerd and I'm trying really hard not to geek out, so bear with me. Music has the ability to release dopamine. which triggers those feelings. So, when dopamine has high levels, we in turn feel good or happy. Now, to really bring my point home, I want to share a little something with you. I'm going to demonstrate how deeply music can affect us firsthand. I've asked the directors to play the instrumental version of a song called How to Never Stop Being Sad. While I read the lyrics, kind of like a poem, I want you all to hear the emotion in the words and to feel what I and many others consume daily. Repeat to yourself if they're not really gone. Time has proven that fooling yourself into believing a lie is the most effective way to deal with things you have no control over. Keep listening to the mixtapes they made you, overanalyze every single word you hear. Was this a sign that things were going wrong? No, you were the one who cared too hard, not them. Stay up every single night staring at your phone, either attempting to gather up the courage to turn these demons, these constant reminders of your loneliness, into nothing more than a bad dream. Or praying just for 1 second you could feel the warmth of equally returned love. Go out for coffee 4 times a week by yourself. Always bring your notebook. Never stop writing. Leave little comics and thank you notes with your tip. Watch them smile as you get in your car. Talk down on yourself whenever possible. My life is crap because I deserve it, right? You must have done something really bad. It's impossible for you to cry now. Avoid your friends for weeks, even though the only sense of consistency you have left in your life. If they really wanted to, they'd come, but they won't. Who cares? Allow yourself to lose interest in the things you love. Watch as you begin to take a backseat to the world around you. Don't fight it. Become a secondary character in your own motion picture. But most importantly, drown in every single one of your feelings in old, stolen rum. Learn to love the taste of it dripping down your throat. Find comfort in the warmth coming from your stomach. You're drinking bottled love now. You don't need other people to drive away your loneliness. You just needed to find a way to talk to it. Therefore, have you ever heard the saying, speak it into existence? That is exactly what I did. But, to end this, not on a sad note, some happy music.